TV ratings are down all over sports, but this seems to only be a topic of conversation as it relates to the NBA. And it's only a topic relating to the NBA from people who don't watch the NBA. Sure, Adam Silver would have liked NBA Finals ratings to be higher, especially as long as television pays most of the league's bills. But in a world where only the WNBA saw viewership increase in the midst of COVID-19, only the NBA is asked to explain why its numbers have fallen. This is nothing new. As the Defector pointed out recently, questions about whether the league has gotten too political and why more people aren't watching go back at least 40 years. But what stands out is how most asking those questions only have guesses. Many of those questions center around race, but the answers apply to why someone else isn't watching. Rarely do those dishonest actors say that the league is too black for them to watch, or that messaging about social justice offends them. Nope, they're always just explaining why other people don't want to watch professional basketball. The rock is thrown, and the hand is hidden. As a fan of the NBA, there's no reason to worry about who else watches. If you're not a fan, there's no need to justify why you don't watch, unless you're ashamed of that reason. If the NBA offends you more than incredible athleticism thrills you, fine. Just ask yourself why you might be afraid to say the reason.
And I want my damn respect too. Not exactly words you'd expect to hear from someone deemed the chosen one as a teenager, but there he was, a graying LeBron James, celebrating his 4th NBA title and Finals MVP with no fans, and apparently not enough love. And he's right. LeBron's only compared to one man these days, and Michael Jordan had a fairly cozy basketball experience while winning his 6 titles. It wasn't just his coach, Phil Jackson, that was there the whole time. It was the same system, same superstar teammate, similar role players, and the NBA game itself didn't change much style-wise from his first championship in '91 to his last in '98. LeBron, just from the time when he made his first finals in 2007, has seen the league transform to its current positionless, three-point obsessed version. His teammates have changed, his coaches have changed, the game has evolved, and LeBron has perfected it on the fly, never missing a playoff game. And that's another thing. Imagine if LeBron, after winning his 2nd title in Miami, had said, quote, "I just feel that at this particular time in my career, I have reached the pinnacle of my career," and then retired for almost 2 years. We all know he'd be eviscerated and knocked down several pegs on the imaginary GOAT rankings. Whether or not you like him asking for it, LeBron deserves everyone's respect.
To bubble or not to bubble? No, I'm not going to go all Shakespeare on you, but that was the question the NFL considered for the playoffs before reportedly taking it off the table earlier this week. Comparing the NBA's successful bubble to one for the NFL playoffs is a bit like comparing apples to oranges. NFL rosters are 4 times the size, not to mention constant roster shuffling and logistical issues that make an NFL bubble a different challenge. But let's assume it wouldn't work for the playoffs. The league has already postponed or rescheduled at least a dozen games due to the virus, and that's why I hope the NFL is seriously thinking about shortening the season. College football did it, and it's already looking like the smart play given their positive tests and canceled games. Also, cases are on the rise in dozens of states across the U.S. And then there's the issue of competitive balance. The Patriots outbreak last week led to New England and Denver losing their week off. Think about the impact that has on players' ability to recover and avoid injuries. There's a lot we can debate about how the NFL is keeping players safe during this pandemic. But if we're talking about health, fairness, and competitive balance over money, fewer games might just be their best answer.
Here we are, 1/3 of the way through the NFL season, and more than ever, the pro game resembles something out of an arcade. Scoring isn't just up, it is in the stratosphere, a combined 51.4 points per game. That's a 15% increase from just last year. I'm no statistician, but that seems to be outside the range of standard deviation, or whatever. Clearly, I don't even know what standard deviation means. I do know that what is happening is non-standard. In 1 year, is it possible that offenses have gotten that much better than defenses? I'm skeptical. A fascinating story this week on the website Sportico examined the scoring explosion phenomenon and identified what might be the most relevant factor. Referees aren't calling holding penalties. Last year at this time, refs had called 273 offensive holding penalties. This year, 135. Even I can tell you that is a reduction of more than 50%. Again, are we to believe that offensive linemen have just gotten that much better at doing their jobs, or is something else at play? Perhaps holding is being tolerated. Blind eyes are being turned to give quarterbacks more time to throw, which will increase scoring, which in theory will increase ratings. So far this season, NFL ratings are down, but not as much as they are for the NHL, NBA, or MLB. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I'd wager something is going on. And I would take the under on holding penalties.